Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It is a lovely day today. Let me see if I can get the clear sky. Look at that. Nice and clear. Not a trail in the sky anywhere. Still a little chilly, but it's going to start warming up from today on, so that'll be nice. I wanted to show you around here. Some of you may be ahead of us, some of you may be behind us. But these, let's see if we, redbuds, they've not quite opened up yet. If you have any redbuds on your property, they're some of my favorite trees. I don't know, I just like them. When the buds are in the let's see if I can get this. When they're like this, where the flowers haven't opened up, you can pickle these and eat them like capers. When they open up into a flower, which they haven't yet, actually there's a couple way up here. Let's see. There you go. They open up like that. They're sweet. It's just a teeny tiny little hint of sweet. In fact, I've read stories of way back in the old days, kids walking to school, they would grab a handful of those on their walk to school as a little snack. Really good. Every year we usually make a jelly out of them. You pick enough of them and you can make a jelly out of them. I also make a syrup out of them. It's not just good because it has a very much of a honey flavor to it, because that's one of the flowers that bees go to around here. But it also has this beautiful maroon purple color, which obviously comes from the color of the plant. So anyways, if you have redbuds in your area, those are two uses for them. The leaves, when the leaves sprout out, they kind of almost have a heart shape. When they're young, you can eat them on a salad. They're really good too. So anyway, there's just a little tip for you today. You know how they've been trying to spread this narrative for a long time that the economy is strong. Now the economy is strong because of illegals. Here's some. Gotta get me. Sorry, need my fix. Now they're telling us the economy is strong and doing good because of all these illegals coming through. That they have helped the economy. They've added jobs. You know, they're spending things, buying things. Great. But the fact is that the data doesn't show that. Did you know that, and I've said this before, that we are spending money and we're increasing our expenditure of money to the point that who knows what it's going to be like. It was at $1 trillion in debt every 100 days. Now we're at $1 trillion, going into $1 trillion in debt every 90 days. When's it going to be every 60 days? Every 30 days? I mean, at what point do we see that we've hit a breaking point? That we've hit a point that we can't sustain it anymore? I mean, the Federal Reserve has already said that the amount of debt and the rate at which we are going into debt is unsustainable. But at what point does things really start breaking down? I don't know. I'm honestly surprised they haven't. And I don't think it has anything to do with the Fed or the government, because they're not the same thing, or anything else being able to prop it up. I really think it's that they have bamboozled and brainwashed enough people to believe that, the economy's fine, that the dollar is still strong. Just go out and buy stuff. That's all you got to do. It's kind of like what George W. said right after 9/11. Just get out and buy things. And I think really at this point, that's about it, because our currency certainly doesn't have any value based on, the oil anymore, because that's starting to be used with other currencies. It certainly doesn't have value because we have such a strong military presence around the world, because that's not happening either. I really think at this point it's because there's still so many people that just believe that the dollar is strong. And at some point, that's going to fail also. The Federal Reserve is losing money once again. They've lost something like $115 billion in revenue, reported a loss. This is unusual for them. Now, I know. We could go into the argument of whether or not they're really losing money because it's the Federal Reserve and they own all the banks and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to go down that path right now. The fact is they're reporting that they are losing money, that they've reported another loss. And I mean, that doesn't look good for the economy when the central bank of the country is in the red. That's bad. Also, housing market seems to be collapsing, gone down considerably. It might end up being a buyer's market soon. I don't know how that will affect a lot of you. Some of you are still trying to sell your house and hoping that you can do good with the, inflated housing prices. Well, that looks to be coming down. In the last couple of months or so, it's been on a downward slope, and it looks like that it's falling at a faster, more sharp pace than it did back before 2008. So if that's the case, it could be one more of the many other indicators that the economy is kind of in a nosedive. I say all this because, all this other stuff that's going on. We might as well talk about one other doom and gloom topic, but this is just another one of the indicators that this nation, that we are experiencing and entering into a collapse. It's not just that we can't control our borders or won't control our borders. That's always an indicator that a country is failing and falling apart. When it cannot or will not control its borders. It's also an indicator when most of the world has no fear of going to war with them anymore. When everyone seems to be just ready to take on a nation militarily, that's a good indicator. When your currency starts to lose value and be debased, that's a good indicator of a nation in collapse. When the moral fabric, whatever that moral fabric has been of that nation, when it starts to fall apart, and all its traditions and its moral foundations are being destroyed, that also is another good indicator that a nation is in collapse. All those things are happening to us right now. Also, when a country goes into an uncontrollable debt, an amount of debt that they cannot get out of, that it's impossible for them to get out of, that is also another indicator that a country is in collapse. And so we're just watching one right after another of these indicators that we are collapsing as a nation. And it's not, I know that you're going to hear that's a conspiracy theory. I know that there's going to be people in the comments that tell me that I'm crazy or that I'm wrong or that America isn't collapsing, that we'll be back on our feet before you know it. November 7th, we're just going to pop back up and be strong and get on our feet. Maybe that's true, but I highly doubt it. And we're watching, like I said, just one indicator after another prove to us that our country is failing. And I'm not gleeful for that at one bit. I hate it. I hate that it's happening. The only glimmer in my eye is that it possibly means that we're getting closer and closer to the end. To the end when the Father wins the final battle. That brings happiness to me. But we have to be prepared. We're told, we're commanded that we have to endure to the end. And it's going to be an endurance contest is what it is. Physically, mentally, and spiritually. The things that are happening, because it's not just that we're collapsing in a financial sense. That's what kind of happened in Venezuela. It's not that just we're collapsing because of civil war or internal strife. That's happened in many countries around the world. It's not that we're collapsing because of immorality, that kind of stuff. That's happened before. We are collapsing because of all of those things and more. Just about every sector, every area of our culture is crumbling and falling apart. And in my unexpert opinion, to me that means that the fall is going to be way harder. It's going to feel way worse. It's going to hit us. It's going to hit us in a way that probably no one has expected. And when you factor in the fact that there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people coming into this country every month, that many of them are from third world. They have no respect for us and our laws. They have no respect for human life many times. I mean, there was just another in the news today, a heinous violent crime committed against a minor child with disabilities. And I talked about it over my locals today. In fact, if you're on locals, listen up, and if you're not, you probably should join. My wife and I had been trying to do live streams on Sundays, and Sundays just aren't working out. We're always busy, or I'm always getting 911 calls. So we're going to redo that and start doing live streams probably sometime during the week. We're going to figure that one out. But I thought I'd mention that before I forget. But the fact is that things are falling apart, and it's going to get bad. This isn't doom and gloom. This isn't fear mongering. It's just stating facts that are being presented right before our eyes. And I just implore you to take things seriously and get ready as much as you can. And I know that most of you are, but get out away from all this kind of stuff. Maybe find a place that you got this kind of things, running through your property. Get out and grow food. Why? Well, food's hard to get anymore. It's going to get really hard to get. It's going to get really expensive. It's so contaminated. But there's another thing that a lot of people don't think about. As violence is on the rise, growing your own food and other things that keeps you at your home means that's that much less time that you're going to be away from your home, which is the more likely chance that you're going to run into violent crimes. So there's many benefits to becoming self-sufficient, and you need to be doing that, stocking up, being self-sufficient, and then building strong bonds with people around you that share your beliefs and share like-mindedness, because that's what it's going to take with the horrible things that's in our future. I don't know how else to put it in a nice, kind way. I think we're headed for some very dark days, folks. You need to be getting your houses in order. You need to be preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and very much spiritually. That means you need to be getting yourself as close as you possibly can with the Almighty Creator, opening that Bible, getting on your knees in prayer, asking for Yeshua to give you that guidance and that strength, because we're all going to be put to the test. Get it in order, folks. Thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next video.